Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to motherfucking Pino News, man. Listen, welcome to the Church of Jesus Christ, not a bitch made nigga. Man, listen, this is the best place to be. I'll be honest with you. All right. Now, usually I'd be at work right now, but you know what I mean? I went and saw my kids today and I helped, you know what I'm saying, like get their fucking crib in order, all that type of shit. And I spent the day grinding it out and I took a nap and I woke up a little late and fucking work done gave away my loads for the day. So I ain't got nothing to do. So I'm here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I figured I might as well be productive while I'm here. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, I decided to, you know what I mean, like cover some fucking stories that are kind of important to me as far as I'm really concerned. Florida man's here with me. Florida man, did you hear about what happened in West Virginia?
Was there a shooting?
No, there wasn't a shooting. There wasn't a shooting.
Because I
All
think I
right,
might have heard
so
something maybe.
all right. So West Virginia has passed a bill that says that if you get arrested, right, they cannot like release your mugshot until you're convicted,
Oh, okay.
right? Which anybody who's ever been falsely accused of some shit or has been
Yeah, that
arrested
sounds right.
and not been convicted, right?
Yeah.
This is something that is, you know, I mean, 100% necessary because you have two problems. One is the news, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the news stands here and runs stories that, you know what I mean, are like half-assed, right? Where like they'll go, this man was arrested for this, and police say blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, ain't that fucking enlightening? You know what I mean? Because the police like literally lie through their fucking teeth constantly, right?
Oh yeah.
And in doing so, you know what I mean, because like they want to be able to like arrest the perpetrator, like they're basically tainting a jury, number one. And number two, they can cause you to end up being, you know what I mean, like having like your entire life wrecked. There was a story about this guy who his wife was killed outside of his house by like a serial killer, right? This happened like in my area, like right by like where I was born at, right? And this dude ended up getting arrested by the local fucking prosecutor, or whatever. And he was held in this fucking like in this police station and being interrogated for like 56 hours straight, right? They just sat him in a fucking chair, he shit himself, pissed himself, the whole nine, right?
Jesus.
You know, I mean, it's fucking crazy. But even on top of that, like, yo, once he got back to the crib, he done lost his job. Like, his fucking kids were taken from him. The motherfucking, his family turned his back on him. He ended up losing his fucking house. And come to find out, this dude was just asleep, you know what I mean? Because he was working or whatever, right? And like his bitch was killed by a serial killer, right? And he was completely innocent. But because of the fact, like all this information about him got released before he was ever convicted or had a day in court, you know what I'm saying? Like,
His life was already fucked.
yeah, you know what I mean? All the damage was already done. And there was no
My my
way.
my question is though, real quick, how did his job and all that learned everything in like barely not even 2 days, like 56 hours, and like that's kind of like that's really fucked up. That's almost kind of impressed. Like, wow, you all worked fast. You took the kids and all this shit. And he's only been in questioning for a little over a day.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, like, listen, so like, you know, the fact that he lost his job caused him to lose his house. The kid CYS immediately got involved because he was gone for 56 hours, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All that type of shit. And basically, fucking what ended up happening is the news ran that fucking story immediately, and his job fucking bagged him because they thought he was
Ah,
a fucking
media.
murderer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the media is pretty much out of control. They just got to get that views and shit, and then they don't give a fuck if they destroy someone's life.
Right. And then on top of that, you have this problem, right? Where like literally what ends up happening is you end up having these motherfucker. I'm gonna put this in better view for y'all so y'all can motherfucking see this better, right? What ends up happening is that this like these people will charge you. They'll go, hey, look, you know, we can scrub all this shit from the internet for you, right? You know what I mean? And take your mugshots up off the internet, but it's going to cost you like 8,000 or 10,000 fucking dollars to do it, right? Even though you were never convicted of any fucking crime.
Yeah, that is just that's already kind of what's that saying? Proven guilty before innocent or whatever. It's like, dude, you're guilty before anything even started. The fuck.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally like that's what I mean, the whole thing's hitting for. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
I was gonna say though, that's a good start. That they should do that, but they should do something else that you mentioned one of your old videos is that when you you do your time, take that crime whatever out of your record when you leave. They should also do that too. But this is a good start, I guess.
Well, I agree, right? I 100% agree, right? And so like that's that's kind of one of those things where I mean, I'm standing here and I'm going like, bro, like this 100% needs to I mean, be something that we have a conversation about, because you can't have like a motherfucker just getting accused of some shit, you know what I mean, and then their mugshots
Yeah.
ran in the paper, you know what I mean, and like all of a sudden, like people are like, oh man, like blah 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 blah, before anything goes to
Even
fucking
social
court, you
media
know what
has
I'm
made it
saying?
even worse.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where
Yeah.
the mentality is and shit, right? So, I mean, I wanted to bring that one to the motherfucking to the fore and shit, you know what I'm saying? So everybody could understand exactly what's going on with that.
This is in Virginia that they passed this law.
West Virginia, right?
West Virginia. Okay. Is that a
Yeah.
blue or red state?
It's a bit of a mix of both bags, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it's
That makes
Democratic
sense.
led, but like it's Democrat in the way that like PA's Democrat. Where like, yeah, we're Democrats, but it's just like we're more pro-union than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because like we're
Yeah.
pro-worker, you know what I'm like. It's not like it's
Yeah.
woke. Like for instance, we have a governor Josh Shapiro, which I'll be honest, I think he's one of the best governors in the country. Like he's pro gun rights, right? He's pro motherfucking police, right? He's motherfucking like pro worker, right? And he like literally got rid of the need for college degrees for every fucking thing in the state, like for every like state job that there is, right?
I'd say that's good. Minus the whole, I guess, because I just really hate the cops, pro cop thing. But all right, I'll give it that to him.
I mean, like, yeah, listen, but like that's what the right wing is. The right wing's fucking retarded, right?
Yeah, they're fucking. They like the fucking cocks and balls with the cops or whatever. But then when shit happens to them, I think we should defund the cops. Oh, now you dumbass think that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So, and then our second story tonight, you know what I'm saying, is something that I mean, I wanted to talk about. The Michigan motherfucking primary happened. Fucking, I
Mhm.
think like 2 days ago, some shit like that, right? And Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, went ham and he got 758,000 fucking votes, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And Joe Biden only got 623,000 fucking votes.
Mm.
And Michigan's one of those like blue wall states, right? Where like literally, like what ends up happening is you end up having, you know what I mean, fucking like there's like you end up having these like fucking these states that you have to win in order to win the presidency, like
Yeah.
PA, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. These are states that you have to win. And what's happening is Joe Biden's having a problem because they packed Michigan full of fucking Muslims in order to like have people to be able to work at these like auto plants and break the unions.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden supporting the killing of Gazans.
Yep. I'm not surprised. Well, then again, I wasn't surprised when my governor DeSantis he dropped out of the race. I believe. I'm like, yeah, dude, don't be fucking president. Just stay here in my fucking state. I mean, to me, I pretty much given up on the whole government thing. To me, it's just we need to separate. That's my thing. That's why whether Trump gets in or not, I kind of don't give a fuck anymore. I'm just worried about my state. Some of the few people like give a shit about take care of you and yours. That's how I am now. I'm not shocked at him winning, even in blue areas, because I think they hate fucking Biden so goddamn much at this point. But
Right.
honestly, I feel like they're just gonna vote like real quick because I'm fucking retarded sometimes.
You're fine.
If Trump wins the presidency, does he do? I know he does a 4 years, but can he do a full 8 years or just one more 4 year term?
Mm.
Because I know he did 4, but since he technically lost, I'm not sure. Could he do a full 8 or just another 4?
I mean, I think I don't. I'm not 100%. I mean, like that's something I can actually look that shit up real quick.
So no, they can do 2 terms, but since he lost and since he's going again, he could maybe. I think I'm not sure. That's the only thing.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Passed by Congress in 1947 and ratified by the states 1951. The 22nd Amendment limits an elected president to 2 terms in office, a total of 8 years. Man, listen, I would like to see the actual, like, hang on, let me see. What is it? 22nd Amendment? Let me look up the 22nd Amendment actual, like, wording, right? Yeah, so no person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than once. Can you serve more than 8 years? Yeah, I mean, like, not so technically, right? There's a way to do it, but basically what ends up having to happen is, like, say if the president that you're like, if you're vice president or, you know, the fucking whatever, you know what I'm saying, of the Congress, I forget the fucking name of it, right? If you're that person, you know what I'm saying, what can happen is that you can have, um, right, what can happen is that you can have the president die in office, and then you assume office, and then once you assume office, what can end up happening, you can serve, like, if they die 3 years in or 2.5 years in or 2 years in like 10 days or whatever, right? You can serve the rest of their term and then 2 more terms, right? So you can serve for 10 years, right? But you can only be elected twice. That's what the rules are as far as shit's concerned.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
actually, who's the Donald Trump gonna have for vice president? It's not gonna be what's his fucking name, because that motherfucker's a piece of shit. What's his name?
I don't know. He was some black dude. I don't know. Like, that's the guy he was looking at. I think it's like the mayor, Eric Adams, or some shit.
Wow.
That's who I've been hearing about here.
At the very least, the only thing I want Trump to do at this point, the only thing that would help all of us out is that fucking wall and start kicking illegals out and stop letting illegals and legal immigrants in. We can't accept the whole fucking world. That's my only thing at this point.
Well, we're about to have a conversation about that, right?
Okay.
Because, like, there's some big ass shit going on with that at the moment. Right. All right. Let's talk about our next story for today, right? Which is Mexico City.
Speak of the goddamn burrito devil.
Yeah, listen, bro. Like, this is something I've been following the past couple of years, you know what I mean? Because it kind of piqued my interest, because it kind of ties into, like, a lot of the stuff that I do, you know what I mean, with the geopolitics and the economics and, you know what I mean, like, geography and logistics and just everything I do is tied up directly in this right here, right? So I'm gonna read y'all like a couple little pieces of this fucking article so y'all understand what's going on. All right. This is from CNN. It was written by Fareed Zakaria. Fucking, so, like, you know, it's going to be all types of, like, let's talk about these people, just this person, because, you know, we have to address. We're going to show you what it's like to live with that person, bro. Just tell me what the fuck's going on. But, like,
yeah, anyway. No, it's that fucking saying real quick is, you know, a billion of people as a statistic, one person's a tragedy. Did you want to focus on one person's tragedy? That's what it is. Fifis and wah-wahs.
Yeah, Fifi's on. All right. Alexander Gomez has been without proper running water for more than 3 months. Sometimes it comes on for an hour or two, but only a small trickle. Barely enough to fill a couple of buckets, and nothing for many days. Gomez, who lives in Mexico City's Tlapan district, doesn't have a big storage tank, so he can't get water truck deliveries. There's simply nowhere to store it. Instead, he and his family eke out what they can buy and store. When they wash themselves, they capture the runoff to flush the toilet. It's hard, he told CNN. We need water. It's essential for everything. Water shortages are not uncommon in this neighborhood, but this time feels different, Gomez says. Right now, we're getting this hot weather, and it's even worse. Things are more complicated. Mexico City, a sprawling metropolis of nearly 22 million people and one of the world's biggest cities, is facing a severe water crisis and a tangle of problems, including geography, chaotic urban development, and leaky infrastructure, are compounded by the impacts of climate change. Years of abnormally low rainfall, longer dry periods, and high temperatures have added stress to a water system already strained to cope with increased demands. Authorities have been forced to introduce significant restrictions on water pumped from reservoirs. All right. So Densely populated Mexico City stretches out across a high altitude lake bed around 7,300 feet above sea level. It was built in clay rich soil into which is now sinking and is prone to earthquakes and highly vulnerable to climate change. It's perhaps one of the last places anyone would choose to build a megacity today. The Aztecs chose this spot to build their city of Tenochtitlan in 1325 when it was a series of lakes. They built on an island, expanded the city outwards, constructing networks of canals and bridges to work with water. But when the Spanish arrived in the city in the 16th century, they tore down much of the city, drained the lake bed, filled in canals, and ripped out forest. They saw water as an enemy to overcome for the city to strive, said Jose Alfredo Ramirez, an architect and co-director of the Ground Lab, a design policy research center. Their decision paved the way for many of Mexico City's modern problems. Wetlands and rivers have been replaced with concrete and asphalt. In the rainy season, it floods. In the dry season, it's parched. Around 60% of Mexico City's water comes from this underground aquifer, but this has been so over-extracted that the city is sinking at a frightening rate, around 20 inches a year, according to recent research. And the aquifer is not being replenished anywhere near fast enough. The rainwater rolls off the city's hard and permeable surfaces rather than sinking into the ground. The rest of the city's water is pumped vast distances uphill, sources outside from sources outside the city, in an incredible, inefficient process, during which around 40% of the water is lost through leaks. The Cutzamala water system, a network of reservoir pumping stations, canals, and tunnels, supplies about 25% of the water used by the Valley of Mexico, which includes Mexico City. But severe drought has taken its toll. Currently at around 39% of capacity, it's been languishing at a historic low. It's almost half of the amount of water that we should have, said Fabio Sosa Rodriguez, head of the economic growth and environment at the Metropolitan Autonomous University of Mexico City. In October, Conagua, the city's national water commission, announced it would restrict water from Cutzamala by 8% to ensure the supply of drinking water to the population given severe drought. Just a few weeks later, officials significantly tightened restrictions, reducing the water supply by the system by nearly 25%, blaming extreme weather conditions. Right? What up, Ronnie G? Nice to see you. You know what I'm saying? All right. So this is actually like a real problem, right? Because so I know everybody stands here and goes, oh, climate change, blah, 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 blah. This is a real fucking problem. This is a real fucking problem that has been going on for years. This is not like some nonsense. Oh my God, we're all going to die in fucking 10 years. These motherfuckers have not had water for like
a good long time.
You know what I'm saying? This is real. You know what I'm saying? This is literally all right. So you have El Nino and El Nina, right? The two different two different weather patterns. One that says water north, the one that says water south. By the way, hi Ronnie, hi Shrapnel, hi Joshua. Nice to see y'all out here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I don't know where the fuck everybody else is at. Fuck y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? For not showing the fuck up. Right? But yeah, so this is something that is 100% a real fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? This is some shit that's going on. It seems like an engineering problem. It is an engineering problem, but it's not an engineering problem at the same point.
This is in Mexico?
Mexico City.
Okay.
22 million people.
It's fucking...
The whole population of Mexico is 130 million.
Oh, God. Honestly, man, when it comes to Mexico itself, it's like, even with the water problems, I tell them this: you got a choice. Pick up a gun, shoot the cartel, shoot the government, and fix your own shit. We have our problems here. We've had our wars. When it comes to Mexico, I can't give a fuck anymore. We got our shit to deal with.
All right. So, all right, Shrapnel. Let me put it like this, right? So, when you talk about climate change, right? Fuck the whole CO2 thing. I really don't care about that. But when you climate change is caused by the ocean, right? The real problem is the ocean. When we as humans expanded from fucking 1 billion people to 8 billion people over the past 100 years, we started pulling a lot of fucking groundwater out of the, aquifers underneath the ground, and pumping it up to the motherfucking regular whatchamacallit,
springs,
and then dumping it into the ocean. right? And instead of like having this natural process where you have like all this fucking water, that keeps getting recycled and brought back onto the land, it ends up going in the ocean and it drops the fucking like salt level in the ocean is the problem, right? And when you had this desalinization effect, it actually affects how currents move. That's a big fucking problem. And so when the currents move different, this is where these things like El Nino and El Nino, right? It
Those
doesn't
big
take
storms.
much to move. They're not big storms. It's not that. It's weather patterns. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Right? It's the weather patterns. It doesn't take much to shift them. Because it's a very light balance because it is a perpetual system. You know what I'm saying? So as you desalinize like the fucking water in the ocean, it ends up changing the way the currents move. When the currents change how they move, they affect the wind on top of it. And the wind on top of it ends up going north or south. And it's been going north a lot more recently than it ever has. And in that problem, like it's also affecting the Panama Canal as well. Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about the Panama Canal in a long time. What's been happening?
All right, hold up, Brad. Like, all right, hang on, man. Listen, I'll fucking grab a Panama Canal.
I mean, by the way, the climate's been heating up since the Earth formed. So the climate change overall is bullshit.
Yeah. So, like, okay, remember Country Boy Can't Survive? Remember all that shit?
Oh, the song thing you played in one of your videos?
No, man. Listen, fucking Country Boy Can't Survive. Fucking this goddamn fucking Hank Williams Jr.
No, I don't know that.
Right. Fucking he said, fucking the stock market's up and the interest is down, and you only get mugged if you go downtown, right? And all these type of things, right? And then he said some shit about he said the Mississippi River she going dry, right? And that's another fuck, right?
Right.
All right, save, right? And I'm not saying that like, and here's the big thing, right? And like, understand something, we cannot fix this, right? We cannot fix like the fucking giant weather patterns.
I would imagine so. I mean, I don't know.
Right? We literally can't fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we literally cannot motherfucking fix it. You know what I mean? So like this is, I'm not saying this is something we can change or adjust. Like there's nothing you can fucking do. Right? We are fucked at this moment, right? Like I was actually watching a fucking video on this Panama Canal thing here recently, right? And it is fucking fascinating, right? Fucking like it just if you're a nerd like I am about, you know what I mean, like numbers and shit, you know what I mean? Right? Like it's dumb fascinating. It's like it just
I mean, I guess I'm a
it's like
nerd in different things. Maybe not in agriculture or the weather patterns. I wish I was.
Yeah, I'm just a nerd for all that type of
Well, you
shit.
are the strangest fucking Italian I've ever known.
Yeah, I'm a nerd for like nerd shit. I'm sorry, man. Listen, I like numbers and stuff. You know, what I mean, I'm autistic.
No, numbers. No, that's cool. We know we need people like that.
like I find it fucking fascinating. You know what I mean? That like that's a thing. You know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, listen, like it's super fucking interesting. Right. I'm just getting all this shit so we can look at all this stuff. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start this where this starts at. Boom. Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay. Fuck. Did I go back far enough, man? Listen, I might have grabbed another fucking shirt. Yeah, I need this one too. Okay, let's grab this one here. All right. So the Panama Canal is a running dry, right? Okay, so this is something I've been paying attention to too, right? Because again, this has to do with logistics, right? So again, right in my fucking wheelhouse and shit. The drought is driven by a strong El Nino, a climate pattern reoccurring every 2 to 7 years, marked by warm ocean temperatures. El Nino disrupts the atmospheric circulation, weakening or displacing winds that would otherwise have brought greater rainfall to Panama and other tropical countries. Although Panama is used to El Nino, this drought is much more severe than usual, and extreme weather events will likely become more frequent as climate change worsens. We have not yet experienced a full blast of El Nino, said Adam Farajala, director of the climate change. I don't care already. The consequences of this will be dire for Panama. For more, Panama's economy relies heavily on the canal. In 2022, it generated 4.32 billion in revenue, equivalent to 6.6% of the country's GDP. The El Nino-induced drought could cost the canal an estimated 200 million in revenue in its current fiscal year, but the drought also threatens Panama's water supply. Lake Gatun, which feeds the canal, also supplies half of Panama's drinking water, and a single ship's transit requires as much water as 500,000 Panamanians consume in a day. Panamanian officials have responded to the drought with tight controls on canal transit. In recent months, the Panama Canal Authority has restricted passage through the canal from about 36 to 24 ships per day, a limit that will be further reduced to 18 ships in February. Right? All right, the drought is a serious threat to Panama Canal. A professor emeritus engineering at Northwestern University, the canal, which was built more than 100 years ago, was not constructed to withstand a severe reduction in rainfall. Rainfall is essential to canal's operation. Each transit requires around 52 millions of gallons of fresh water to lift and lower the ships in and out of the canal. This water comes from artificial lakes that rely on rainfall. Panama's rainy season usually runs from late April to November, but last year, October, saw 41% less precipitation than average, and low precipitation is expected to continue into this year's rainy season. In December, the water in Lake Gatun, the canal's main reservoir, declined to unprecedented levels for this time of the year, and water levels are expected to shrink further in the coming months. The drought is driven by strong El Nino, a climate change pattern occurring every 2 to 7 years, as I was saying earlier. For months, a withering drought has created major traffic jams at the Panama Canal. The drought, which may have been exacerbated by climate change, has left the canal's water levels lower than ever, forcing Panama to let fewer ships through. The restrictions have led to delays, increased shipping costs, and uncertainty over the future of one of the world's critical trade choke points. This has fundamentally changed how shipping through the canal works, said CERN. Stroback Anderson, a regional commercial manager at Leth Agencies, a shipping agency. Man, listen, yeah, it has also disrupted the international shipping industry. Roughly 5% of the world's seaborne trade passes through the canal, which is a gateway for 40% of U.S. container traffic. As Panama heads into the dry season, when restrictions will be tightened further, shipping companies that have long relied on the canal are bracing for even worse delays and are trying to reroute. This has created a fraught logistical puzzle amid a simultaneous maritime crisis in the world's other main shipping shortcut, the Suez Canal, which is roiled by war in the Middle East. As climate change extremes become more common, shipping companies, analysts, and governments fear the Panama Canal crisis may not be an aberration, but the new reality. Scrambling to deliver their goods on time has led shipping companies to question whether the canal will remain a reliable artery of global trade and spark renewed interest in finding alternatives to the canal. Some of these are yet to be built. In Nicaragua, President Daniel Ortega said he wants to revive a plan to construct an inner ocean canal, but many Nicaraguans dismissed the project in one of the region's poorest and most corrupt countries. Colombia's plans that are perhaps slightly more realistic. In an email to Foreign Policy, Colombia's Ministry of Transport said that the government has already developed the first phase of plans for a 123-mile-long interoceanic train with 7 miles of tunnels that connect the country's Pacific and Caribbean coast. The ministry expects the project to be ready for tender by the end of 2024. Other projects are already completed or underway in 2022. Paraguay inaugurated the first half of dual carriage motorway to Bioscenic Road Corridor, which will stretch from Chile to Argentina and Paraguay, ending in Brazil. And on December 22nd, Mexico inaugurated part of a $2.8 billion railway project to compete with the canal by transporting goods between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Yet experts are skeptical that these projects will pose a threat to the Panama Canal anytime soon. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Yeah. So basically what the deal is that we're having, you know what I'm saying, massive amounts of fucking water problems. You know what I'm saying? Fucking in the, whatchamacallit, in the Panama Canal. Right, because basically, like all these fucking lakes that are relied upon, like fucking, you know, what I mean, lifting ships up and putting ships down are fucking, you know, what I mean, basically like disappearing. You know what I mean? Like they don't have any fucking water coming to them because like they're not being replenished by fucking rainwater because the rains are all going north instead of south.
And that because we're putting fresh water back in the ocean, changing the sodium levels.
Yep, it's making it worse.
Shit. No, that fucking sucks.
Yeah. Listen, shrapnel, like dog, like I'll be real. I'm not a climate change type of guy, right? I'm just saying it. Like we have like this system is delicate. Right? It's not like it's durable because it'll keep doing things, but it's not going to do the same fucking things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not going to do like the same exact shit repeatedly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like this is kind of where the fuck we're at the moment. You know, like the fucking all right. So before the drought, ships could book passage to the canal 3 weeks in advance or wait in line without booking, Anderson said. But now wait times have quintupled in some cases, and slots are sometimes booked months in advance. The Canal Authority has started to auction off extra slots to skip the line. Recently, one fetched a record of $4 million at auction.
Wait, what was a option at $4 million?
All right. So basically, what they'll do is, in order to get into the canal, right, you have to have a reservation to like go through the Panama Canal, right?
Uh-huh.
And like, if you don't have a reservation, if you just show up, you have to wait in line. Now, these extra slots, right? They'll have like extra slots that are available, like in like an extra like reservation. Like, say you want to go to dinner and you want to make a reservation, right? Like, basically, they'll fucking whatchamacallit, basically what they want to do is, or basically what you do is like fucking like, oh hey, look, we have an extra reservation for the night. Who wants to buy this reservation? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like the fucking shipping in the canal. Like, who wants to buy this fucking extra reservation so you can get in earlier? Like, somebody paid $4 million to like skip the line.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
And this is all shipping.
I'm trying to start making shit locally. I'm trying to start doing factories again.
I feel you.
Which really, as I learned back in high school, if we had factories in the United States, a lot of people who aren't, I'm not going to say are stupid, who didn't go to college or aren't really smart, they'd be okay. Maybe it's time we start thinking, hey, maybe bring back factories, fuck China. Might even have to at this point. The Panama Canal keeps fucking up like this. 4 million. What the fuck?
Yeah, basically, it has like 2 or 3 inland lakes, right? One's kind of natural. The other 2 are just dammed up rivers, right? And like they've been pulling off of these, but they're just not being replenished fast enough. And I mean, every time a ship goes through, it loses 55 million gallons of fresh water because like it locks. You know what a lock is?
Nah.
Okay.
Tell me.
Right. This is really simple to understand. Okay. Basically, what happens is consider like a series of boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go into a box, right? The ship pulls into the box, and what they do is in that box, they close the back of the box, and then they pump water into it to lift it up, right? And then like it goes into another box, and they pump water into it to lift it up, right? And then like then it opens up and goes into like the canal proper, right? Because the canal's above the ocean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like what they do is they fucking they push it over to the next lock, right? It dries into the next lock, right? And then they let water out. You know what I'm saying? And that gets, like pump like fucking back into the canal or whatever it is, right? And then fucking like they lower it, you know what I mean? And then it goes into the next box and then they lower it again. And then they just open it and let it in the ocean. But when they open it, all that water that was in the motherfucking box goes into the ocean.
And they lose 55 million gallons with each ship.
Yeah, because these ships are fucking gigantic.
Of course, if it's shipping, they're probably big as are they big as almost big as a Navy vessel, probably.
Panamax size.
God damn.
All right, so the length of a Panamax size, right? All right, it is 950 feet long, 160 feet wide, 190 feet tall, and 39.5 feet motherfucking deep.
Hmm.
And I mean, these things are fucking huge.
But how fast are they though?
Oh wait, I was wrong. There are now 3 new Panamax. 397 fucking feet long.
397 feet.
Yeah, that's 400 feet. 400 feet is a football field long. So 3 feet's a fucking yard.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So 3 and a third.
In third,
Football,
yeah.
like one and the third football fields long by 56 feet wide, which is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, fucking big. It's giant. They're huge.
Fucking huge.
You know what I mean?
And I wonder how many times they're gonna keep doing a fucking auction at 4 million. That can't be forever.
You would be amazed how long they will pay for whatever the fuck they have to pay for because they're fucking retarded.
I mean, dude, if Pinoid, if you had 4 million right now, you'd be making your YouTube shit as a career at this point. You'd be
Yeah,
done
I
trucking.
agree. I agree, but that's not the fucking point, right?
I
You know what
know.
I mean? Right. The point is that like literally these motherfuckers are wasting 55 million gallons of fresh water every time they put a ship through, right? And
Yeah,
dumping it into the
that's
fucking ocean, right? Just so like you can have, you know what I'm saying, your Funko Pops in California.
I know
Right.
it's like unless they were delivering, like I would kind of understand, like legit, like I don't know, food, gas, like something like legit you would need. But if it's just stupid ass products, like for fuck's sake,
I mean, this is kind of the problem, right? Is that
yeah,
we really don't want, all right, so everything has been so cheap forever. You know what I mean? That like yo, we
yeah.
sit
I
here,
watched your video on that a billion times. You and fucking libertarian motherfucker. What's his name?
I don't know which one. Fucking
No, the one you said, the one you've done like 4 videos, not with him, but talking on his points. Oh my god, the one with the glasses, the one with like a Jersey accent. What's his name? Cappy.
I
Fuck. No, what? No, one of your videos, yeah, that we made things cheap for so long because they come from China.
mhm.
That these are the natural consequences of them. I watched it a lot of times because I agree. I think not TFM, but Halsey made a point that I get that it's cheaper, but if you let's say we were to make a toaster in the United States, that would cost a lot more. And my thing is, I would like no bullshit. Like if I have to buy a toaster for like $80, hey, if I'm using it for like a few years, that's a good deal. Like I get it, things would be more expensive, but I agree with you, Pinoy, that we have to decide what we really want to buy and what we really need. We can't just buy a lot of cheap shit forever because there's consequence to that.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at, right? like a,
Like
like the
like you said,
chickens are going to
but
come
no,
home to
yeah,
roost eventually.
yeah. It's like you said, no longer are you going to buy lawnmowers and just break them down and buy a new one. It's time to go get that shit fixed. And I thought, you know what? Again, a lawnmower, that shit can last you a good amount of years, even if it costs like $500, to buy. Like even a TV, all this shit can last a long time, even if it's super expensive. So in the long run, I think you would actually save money doing shit like that,
Mm.
and you can buy more of the things. So
You know,
it may
I
not be that
came up
bad.
with, yeah, all right. So Joshua just brought up a point. He said, "Don't forget about the national debt that's going to bankrupt this country." All right,
Bro, we're up in the eyeballs and beyond with debt, but I think other countries are worse. I believe. I'm not sure.
yeah, way worse, right? All right. So like, I came up with a thought last night, right? The government can't commit a crime
Of course, because they got all the guns, they can decide who commits the crimes.
because they literally, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like
fucking,
war crimes. It's like, oh, we won the war, and you losers. Oh, what you did was a war crime.
yeah, right. All right. So think about it like this, right? So like, the government literally cannot like. So we were talking about some shit, right? Where basically abortion is a crime policy, right? Because like as you have more people having abortions, you end up having less crime later on down the line.
Oh, you mean because of less people not to actually do crimes?
Yes. And the people who have
Oh, okay.
abortions tend to be the people who would create criminals because they're poor.
Oh yeah. I've heard a discussion before. Like TFM says, yeah, it's nice to do abortion, but if they're these terrible people, it's kind of a good thing. Which I agree to an extent. I do.
I mean, yeah, right. So like this is kind of where the mental is, right? So and then we got into like have you ever seen Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Drinking Your Juice in the Hood?
Is
It's a
that a
cool movie.
movie?
Wayne's brother. Yeah, it's a Wayne's Brothers movie back in the day, right?
Oh, it's been a long time since I saw the Wayne's brothers, but maybe if he would show me a
So
clip, I'd be like, oh yeah.
fucking Don't Be a Menace to South Central. It's great. Fucking there's this meme
What
that I
about
love.
what I've seen Menace to Society?
Yeah. Fucking this is a spoof on that. And
Oh, okay.
basically,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Was it? There's a scene where the guys take out a Glock and the guy takes out a fucking missile.
Yeah. Right. He
Yeah,
said,
okay.
like,
I've seen
listen,
parts of
I'll
that.
perform Nagasaki and Hiroshima up in this bitch, right?
Yeah.
Yo, so basically, fucking like what the premise is that like, so I was saying, I was like, listen, if you kill 100% of people in an area, you will reduce crime by 100%.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the dude's like, yeah, but you just murdered all those people. And I was like, it's the government, son. The government cannot murder anybody.
Well, and here's another thing too. Actually, this reminded me of what TFM says. I get when he says I get when the conservatives are mad about abortion, but it's like, hey, the black community, if they didn't do all these abortions and if they were above white people population, things would get extremely bad. Now they're down to like 12.1. They're not even 13% anymore. I think they're like at 12% now. The population.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of that is the fact that like literally these white women have black kids, right? They have light skinned kids, and they're calling them white.
Well, I thought it was because Nashikwa was getting just abortions out the wazoo.
No. All right, check this out. Here's what it is. So basically, you are what you declare you are, right? Rather than like a doctor looking and going, well, this is a light-skinned baby. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
That's not happening. What happens is you get to write down whatever you want to be.
No, it's awesome.
Ain't that great?
No, it's like, damn, I can be Japanese. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, listen, you can be whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what, Brad? Like, yo, I'm a Martian. You know what I mean? Like, you could mark whatever fucking box is on there, right? And so, therefore,
And nobody picks black.
Yeah, nobody picks black, right? Because like, nobody wants to be black, right? Yeah. Right, you know what I mean? And this is kind of where that shit gets to. Like, there's so much fuckery in the system. And not only that, but here's the other part of this. How many fucking dudes are not counted in the hood because, like, they technically don't really live anywhere? You know what I mean? Because, like, they never get counted on the census. Like, I have never, I'm 40, I've never filled out census paperwork, ever.
No. I don't think I've ever had it either. I'm 31.
How many people are really here? Our government is not really good at being a government.
Dude, our government, as I say to people, our government has admitted they don't even know how many laws are in the books. Like it's our country's too big.
Yeah, that's one of mine. Yeah, that's one of my favorite points, right? It's like our government is really bad at being a government.
Yeah, it's like this one time I was watching John Stossel and it was kind of hilarious. This one cop went to these two little white girls. They were selling lemonade, and the cop told them they couldn't do it. And the mom went to a judge, and the judge was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Wait, that's against the law? The fuck?" Mm-hmm. Even the judge doesn't know. It's like, dude, we've gone crazy with the laws when it's like, what the fuck? Can't even sell lemonade on the streets. It's how pussified we are.
Yo, listen, it's how do I put this, man? So like, all right, somebody TK Mao sent me a message the other day, right? Where like he's like they keep fucking with the Amish.
The Amish?
Right? And basically, yeah, right.
No, you kind of logged out for like a quick second.
Oh, you're fine, man. Listen, my shit's kind of going in and out a little bit, right? Right. So like he's like, and listen, they're fucking with the Amish and shit, right? And I'm over here, and how do I put this? like I'm around the Amish. You know what I'm saying? Like I deal with the Amish. I've been near the Amish like most of my fucking life. I have been near the goddamn Amish and shit, right? And
How hot are their women, real quick?
not really, right? In any way.
Okay.
Okay. So
All
like
right.
in being near the Amish, what you have to understand, they are dirty. They are fucking dirty fucking people, right?
Like they don't
And
take showers?
yeah, and they in general don't wash shit. You know what I mean?
Ah.
And so they're selling raw milk in like dirty bottles.
Oh, that is some bacterial. That's gonna eat your stomach out alive.
Yeah, it's gonna kill you, right? And people die.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
so, like, basically, the FDA's been like, or the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture has been cracking down on them, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't really have a problem with this. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
Because
guess it's up to the person. Like if they tell you, yeah, we don't pasteurize it or whatever, it's up to them if they still want to buy it.
listen, I don't have a major problem with, you know what I mean, like raw milk. I don't have a problem with non-pasteurized milk being sold. I don't have any issues with any of this mentality, right? At all, right?
Yeah.
But on the same level, you should be clean, right? As an in general thing, right? So, and I don't have a problem with like inspections because I've been a restaurant worker, right? Like I've worked in kitchens where I go in a kitchen and like I'm like, dog, like, why are y'all working like this? You know what I'm saying?
Like why are they working dirty or some shit?
It's fucking filthy. Like literally, like I went, so every once in a while I'll take off being a trucker and I'll go back to working in the kitchen because I enjoy doing it, right?
Hmm.
And I go work in his kitchen and I'll spend 2 weeks just cleaning a fucking kitchen, right?
Damn.
Like in between catching orders, I'll be down there with a scraper or like a knife or a spatula, just cutting grease off of shit, right? And just like fucking getting things in order so I can work,
Yep. Reminds me of kitchen nightmares.
right? And like people are fucking dirty. And the thing is that like you need inspectors to come through. You need people to come through and tell these motherfuckers, you can't be this filthy.
No, because being filthy and not just for the customers. It's like if you own a house and you don't take care of your lawns, you let snakes and all that shit. No, it's like this. It's like if you live in an apartment building, and let's say your apartment is sparkling, span clean. If your fucking next door neighbor is like a filthy mess, you're gonna get roaches and snakes, whatever, no matter what. No matter how much you clean your shit, if their shit's dirty, it's gonna affect you. So no, I agree. You got to be clean. It's for certain things you have to.
Right, you need to be like clean, and like some people are just not clean, and you have this assumption that like human beings are just clean. You know what I mean?
I
Like
never
people
had that. Who the fuck has that assumption?
everyone assumes that people are like them.
Oh no, no. Oh, okay, I guess that's most people. That's definitely not me. I used to have a friend who was all right, dude, but his whole family were a bunch of hoarders. It was like that show where literally a mountain of just steel and shit in the garages of the house, and they literally had no lie. You know how they said it's a pigsty in here?
Yeah.
Guess what? Literal pet they had in the fucking house?
What?
An actual fucking pig.
That's fucking disgusting.
I know it's like it's like ugh. And so a lot of times I was like, I'll just see it later. And I felt when I went home, I'm like, at least the sister's hot, but goddamn, the house is disgusting. Like, bruh,
Yeah, like everybody assumes, right, that people are like them, and it's just not true, right?
no,
Like
mm,
most people are filthy motherfuckers. You know what I mean? The end of the day, like I have been in like white women's fucking houses and shit, and you just go, bruh, the fuck? Why are you in this?
bro. If their house is that dirty, imagine their pussies.
Yo, listen, bruh. Like I was um I was down at this broad's crib, right? And she was renting an apartment off of this chick who owned this house, right? Now the broad I was fucking, she was habitually clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right. Like she was super duper clean. You know what I mean? Like to the point where like she takes like 3 showers a day and shit. You know what I mean? She was super clean. But like the broad she was renting the house off of, she had like 4 huskies living in this house, right? With
ugh,
like 3 kids who I swear to God, like yo, I show like we hung out Thanksgiving. And like I came back like Christmas Day or Christmas night, some shit like that, to hang out. And the kids had the same clothes and hadn't showered since Thanksgiving.
Ugh. Actually, I got a better one that tops that. The place I was living in just a few years ago, I was renting a room in this house, and the guy I was renting the room at, one of the ladies moved out, and then I was like, all right, let me see if I can get another roommate for us, so we don't get kicked out or whatever, or he doesn't lose the house. The guy I was sort of buddies with, he moved out from from a fucking motel, whatever, to our house when I was helping him clean out his place, bro, and that was in the fucking hotel. This motherfucker and his girl are fucking dirty as shit. Like they left fucking bowls of like spaghetti and shit under the bed for weeks, where there's like larvae and centipedes coming out. And then after they were living with us for like a year, my fucking roommate, this even the guy I was renting the room from the house, even he said, like, I don't think that motherfucker showered in like the whole year. And I'm like, dude, I think you're right. Because the shower actually was broken. So I had to when I worked out at the gym, I just took showers at the gym. Him, bro, it was like, oh my god. I was shocked I never smelled him like in the room. But as soon as they left and my guy was cleaning out his room for the next person, they left some like vomit shit on the floor. They left so many plates and bowls from under the bed. It's like, how the fuck do people live like this?
Mm.
Like it is like, bro, I told him, don't ever talk to me again, dude. You're a piece of shit. And I let him use my internet, and he was pissing me off, so he didn't pay me back for that.
Motherfuckers are dirty, bro. People are fucking filthy, right? And this is where I'm at. Is like, so, like, making an assumption that motherfuckers are clean. You know what I mean? Is like, I don't want to just rely on corporations, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And on the same level, I don't want shit to be so restrictive that we can't have, you know what I mean, like mom and pop places that, you know what I mean, like that offer us an alternative to, like, you know what I mean, the whatchamacallits, right? To like the fucking big ass like companies,
yeah,
right? I'd like to have, you know what I mean, like small little operations, you know what I mean, like little, you know what I mean, fucking little nonsense places, you know what I mean, that are doing whatever.
yeah. What
That
if
make
like
food and
locally we had like a not a like a state government, but like a local, not a cop, but like inspection kind of agency for each city or whatever,
yeah,
each
yeah,
local
yeah, yeah.
place.
Right, right, right. You know what I mean?
Like
Like,
a
you know,
maybe like a volunteering kind of thing. Like, hey, you can
no,
volunteer to be
no,
an
no, no.
inspector.
Not
No?
even a volunteering type of thing in any way. Like, I don't want no ANCAP dumb nonsense, right? I'm
Okay.
fine with having, and PA's really good about this. Like, we are really, really fucking good about, because we are. Have you ever heard about like actual, like what's known as like the institution problem in governments and in countries?
You mean like where big business gets in bed with government?
No, no, no. So like you have, all right, you have countries that shouldn't exist, right? And states that shouldn't exist, like, you know, I mean, whatever the case is, right? So
Yeah.
for instance, like fucking Iraq and like a lot of those African countries and a lot of the states in the middle of the country shouldn't exist, right? Like, because they're not real places. They're literally just fucking lines on a map because they don't have proper institutions. Now, if you look at like a place like Iran, right?
Yeah.
Iran is 6,000 years old.
Mm.
It has real institutions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's been
Like
here for the longest time.
it's a real actual fucking like nation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has like proper nation fucking institutions. It has like real places that like actually like exist on their own. You know what I mean? That are proper. Like places like when you go to like Burkina Faso or like fucking Eritrea or like fucking like Kansas, right? Like these places don't have institutions because they're not big enough. They're not old enough. They don't, like, if Kansas, if we said, listen, you're no longer a state, they just wouldn't be a state. They wouldn't form back together because it doesn't make any sense for them to be a state.
I can hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas like PA is a fucking real place.
Been around for a long time.
And it makes sense for where it is, right?
Yeah.
Like
Same
it's
thing in Florida.
kind of sketchy on like like the fucking West Virginia, New York, like Maryland borders on like the fucking western side, right? Like
Yeah.
most of that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like because we should absorb a lot of that, you know what I mean, as an in general thing. It just makes sense geographically. But like we have real institutions. You know what I mean? Because we have real industry, because we have real mineral wealth, right? Like we literally built the fucking 20th century. Like all the steel, all the oil, like where did all the fucking oil come from? Pittsburgh, Oil City, right? like Titusville, like literally all that shit came from there. Where was Bethlehem Steel located? Pittsburgh, right? Like where did like motherfucking the state or the country get formed? Philadelphia, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we built this country like completely. Like we are literally the country.
Automotive industry. I believe that was Detroit. I'm not sure.
Well, Detroit's Michigan, right? But again, we produced all the fucking steel that allowed that to happen. All those skyscrapers in New York and Chicago and fucking, you know what I mean, like all over this country, all came out of us. Right? A lot of the coal came out of here, came out of West Virginia. Like again, we have real institutions that actually function because like we're a real fucking like actual nation, right? We're a real people. We have culture. We have like reasons to exist. Like if you said PA doesn't exist tomorrow, it would go back to existing the next day. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
a reason. There's a reason why it exists.
Yes.
It has something. It has something to back it up.
Yeah. Right. So like you have these things that have like proper institutions. Like you don't have proper institutions in a lot of these places in the fucking country. Like if you wanted to have those institutions, they would end up existing in like fucking 5 or 6 different states. You'd have to add shit together. Like Montana, Wyoming, fucking North Dakota, South Dakota, all that type of shit,
These
right?
places need to have like a purpose on why it exists.
Yeah, hang on. Let me grab this here. Then we'll get rid of all these, right? Like there's a fucking reason why like my fucking map exists, right? Like why I have
You're a fucking Himalayan mountain, the whore of the South.
yeah,
What the fuck is with the stars?
right. Oh, somebody asked me about fucking like car stocks.
I like how your peoples is penetrating my peoples a little bit.
Oh yeah. Listen, you know what I mean? But like literally, like so, you know, like these would probably be like capitals or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like anyway, like this is the Appalachian Star. Fucking. But like so anyway, like if you wanted to have proper, you know what I mean, like shit, this is what proper shit would look like in America. You know what I mean? But like again, you go to New York, you go to New Jersey. Like New Jersey makes sense as a fucking state. Now it is probably 2 different fucking states in the end of the day. You know what I mean? North and South Jersey are 2 different fucking places and they don't really like each other as a whole, right? But like Maine used to be part of Massachusetts. Probably should be part of Massachusetts again, right? Maine's not big enough to have real institutions. Connecticut is, right? Virginia has real institutions. Florida has real institutions. And I mean that like actually exist.
We got gators. That's what we got.
Yeah, right. Like Texas has real institutions. Michigan has California has real institutions. Washington, fucking Oregon have real institutions. Like they make sense. Like there's reasons why they exist as states. Now, should they probably split off and like, you know, form like a greater Idaho? Probably. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But like, again, a lot of these places, there's no reason for them to exist because they just don't have the fundamental like fucking building blocks for being a real nation. You know, and this is the problem with like shit. And so like when you talk about, you know, like fucking why, like when we have like meat in like PA, we have the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's some, oh, you know, like, oh, it's a fucking state thing because you have to have a state thing. No, it's an actual thing that exists, that has existed and predates the FDA.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have our own shit that makes more sense than like the feds. We don't need the feds to bother us.
Oh, of course, and no one does. Well, minus California. I don't know. Weak people want the Fed. That's what I tell people.
No. Do you know why the feds exist? Because of Chicago.
Because it's a war-torn shit city.
No, because literally you could go from Chicago to motherfucking Indiana to like fucking, you know what I mean, Kansas to like fucking whatever. You could float all over that area and never get caught because there's nothing fucking holding them apart. There's no border. The borders aren't real.
No borders are real. It's all man-made.
No, the borders do exist. I dare you to motherfucking try to go from like goddamn America to like fucking England without like a fucking actual ship.
Well, yeah, there are borders. I thought you meant like the lines on the map, but yeah, borders definitely exist.
Right? Like, yo, I want to see you, right? Listen, I'm gonna put you in the woods with a hatchet. You let me know when you're ready to travel to goddamn Spain.
Oh, let me use a little boat, and that's all I need, and I'm good to go.
Right?
I'll just say I'm a Muslim migrant. There you go. I'll make it in.
No. You let me know when you can do it on your own without anybody else providing you any type of material.
Easy. Give me just a week's worth of food and water, and I'm good.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where shit gets to. Like, yo, it's kind of like, no, wait, that's the one I want. I don't want this. There we go. All right, there we are. Right. Again, this is the fucking problem. Is like literally borders do exist, right? Like going other places without like some type of major, you know what I mean, like fucking help as a whole, like as a single individual, you can't fucking do it. Like crossing an ocean is impossible as a rugged individual.
True. Unless you're like Moses, you split that sea in two. I don't see how anyone else is doing it.
Yeah, right. These are like basic things, right? That like a lot of people don't have the mental capacity to like fucking go, yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? Like we assume a lot of things because we live in a civilization. Right? You assume that you're always going to have access to an engine. I 100% know, right? Because like I'm gonna say the same thing about myself. All right. Neither one of us, if I put us each in the woods, you could give us an entire lifetime and we would never be able to build a fucking like a motor by ourselves.
Yeah, it's a combination of so much shit.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see you dig iron ore out of the fucking ground, process it, go find coal, harden it, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? And
I'll do the smart thing. I'll just go to a guy, get a gun, put a gun in his head, give me that engine. There you go.
Right. No, again, nobody else exists. It's just you.
I mean, I get it, but at that point, I'm like, I need food and water. Fucking engine.
Right. Like, yo, this is like, and then on top of that, I want you to feed yourself.
I mean, that I could possibly do. I mean, I can hunt there.
We could feed ourselves, but that would be like everything that we did all day. It would literally
pretty much. Yeah, we'd be back to caveman. And I'd be back to just. And then if I see a woman just walking, well, if it was just us, well, no, I can't fuck a bitch if it's just me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And she probably want to fuck you because you'd be the only dude. But like, that's not.
This
is the point.
I know,
right?
I know.
Right? This is the whole fucking deal, right? It's like we assume a lot of things because we live in a civilization.
Well, we live. No, I mean it's not so much we assume. I guess you say we're so used to all the shit we have now that we've been having for the last, I don't know, in terms of technology. Let's just say the last like 20, 30 years, that all this shit just comes easy. Like, nope, it doesn't. Sometimes you need a reminder.
Like I think about these things sometimes. You know what I mean?
Once in a blue moon, I'm not gonna lie, I would look around, like, you look at your PC and your computer, no bullshit. Before humans, the world was just dirt and water, and we somehow created all this shit. That's legit. It drives me crazy sometimes. I'm like, holy shit, how did we do that?
Yeah.
Like I'm using a fucking phone on the internet. Like that came from the fucking dirt, or from the earth. We just created this shit. That's some magic shit right there.
I'm gonna tell you what. If you've never built a house, right? Like if you've never built a structure in the woods, motherfuckers really don't know how hard shit really is.
No, yeah, it's even though I want to eventually get my own plot of land and build my own house with a little bit of farm. I know it's not gonna be easy, but yeah, it's like, guys, you just imagine you got to get to even get wood. You got to cut that shit. Oh, what do you need? A knife? Oh, how you gonna make a knife? Oh, wait, shit, you need steel. Oh, I'm like, oh my god, you wouldn't even know where to begin.
You need a saw. You need an axe.
Well, how you gonna even make that? How you gonna make the saw or axe?
Right?
Like, oh wait, you need wait. I'm like, hold on. How did they make swords back in medieval time? What the fuck? What kind of crazy like smart caveman? All of a sudden, something hit his head, and he's like, "Oh shit, I know how to make a fucking sword. You just got to do this, this, and this."
Like it was a giant piece of development of like, oh, this is a fucking piece of metal. If you heat it up, or this is a mineral that you pull out of the ground. If you heat it up, right, it fucking turns into like iron or bronze or whatever it is, right? And like it just goes through like this entire process. Hey man, listen, if you use the coal to eat it, because the coal burns slower, what I mean? And like it just this process took thousands of years to come up to like the point where like you could make a sword that you could use to go cut somebody to pieces with and to use for war.
Yeah, and now we have fucking guns. Something that shoots out with explosions in a tube that
Yo,
travels every second 100 miles.
yeah, we have missiles that can go across the fucking planet.
We got nukes, dude. We got drones. We have fucking artificial intelligence that came from the dirt.
Yeah.
We made actual intelligence with our fucking dicks.
Like, yo, again, and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? It's extremely delicate because it's all based off of like the very simple things that I talk about when it comes to like the fucking shipping of it.
Yep.
Water, earth. Like, yo, I feel like it's like air, fire, water, right?
Steel.
Like fucking Avatar and shit. You know what I mean? Right. All this shit is based on, some very, very, like big assumptions that, things are going to continue to be the way they are right now forever.
Yeah, it's. And then, of course, you have the possibility of somehow World War III maybe happening.
I mean, I'm not even concerned about that right now, right?
No, I'm not.
That's not even something I'm just literally like shit is so fucked, right? Because like, like in the near we'll have sex robots. I agree, Joshua, right? But like, it's just we have all this shit that like we just rely upon and make these big assumptions about, right? And in making these giant ass assumptions about things, like we just assume that things will always be what they are right now, and we're not doing the like maintenance of it because everybody's so concerned with just making profit rather than like putting the shit
GDP go up.
last and being like durable.
Nah, it's at some point, yeah, when you just keep buying cheap shit.
Ain't that, bro? Ain't that just everybody always wants to get theirs out, right? Like because this whole system is reliant upon like this market of like selling fucking like little pieces of fucking paper that say, hey, look, I own a part of this, so therefore I need to be able to like take my motherfucking end and be able to live off of it later on.
And I feel like is what the boomers are. Just all I care about is this shit, not my beautiful kids in front of me.
They didn't leave a whole lot for the rest of us, right? Like, all right, think about it like this, right? So like
not even a childhood.
Me and TK were talking about this one day about oil, right? Where it's like we have literally used up millions and millions of years.
Oh, dude, there was a YouTube video, I forgot which one, that they said we only have like 80 years left of oil.
Yeah.
Like we used. Yeah.
That's a maybe, by the way.
Yeah, that's like that. I mean, I know I won't be alive for. Well, actually, I don't know. It could be. I mean, I'll probably be alive maybe for like another 65 whatever years. But that's scary. It's like if I when I have kids, they're not gonna have Jesus.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's a maybe. Like I've done that and I've shown that in the videos, like literally where like, hey, look, all of our fucking population is fully reliant upon fucking oil. You know what I mean? Like everything is reliant upon fucking oil. You know what I'm saying? Like all of
Uh,
this shit assumes oil. And that oil
yeah,
goes away, everything else goes away with it.
yep. All right, Elon. I know you got your car shit. Fuck space, Elon. Start coming up with a thing to replace oil because fuck space.
I agree.
Because I mean, hey, the whole electric car shit. If it could replace at least in terms of traveling for at least vehicles, okay, that's a big A plus. But like I said, I get it. You love Mars, you love space because you're a fucking nerd in a cool way, I guess. But as Pino said, let's focus on Earth first. Let's focus on our families, friends, people around us. You know, let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, but like they don't want to do that shit.
No, it's, GDP because oh my god, my space program is making us a lot of money. But yeah, great, cool. Hey, dude, you want to make more money? Let's just focus on us. Come on. At the very least, I would think you could probably make great sex dolls.
Mm. Right. I mean, again, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking it, none of this matters. Right. In the end of the
I
day,
know.
like you're fucking like eventually we're gonna have to go back to being like human beings again. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we've had shit way too easy for way too fucking long. You know what I mean? And like we haven't put shit back in and we haven't like stood here and said, hey, look, let's make any of this shit last and build something that's sustainable. You know what I mean? Like we're supposed to find a fucking balance, but instead all we want to do is continue to have like I was thinking about this
We don't even have a culture. I just been thinking about that now.
Joe, I was thinking about this a couple days ago, right? So, like, basically, this system is set up to keep everybody completely stressed out so that you just keep having motherfuckers like end up having like exponential, like, fucking creation and growth, right? They're like, we're going to keep you on your fucking knife's edge so that you will continue to create new things that make this fucking system grow.
Yeah, it's no, yeah, I've been stressed. I'm still stressed out. It's funny. That's why I eventually want to move to like I just want to move. I wouldn't say in the dead forest, like all the way in the but fuck nowhere. But I don't want to be like close too close to a city or even a suburban area. It's kind of like I just want to raise like a couple sons by myself. I don't want a fucking wife, well, maybe. Just by myself, farm some land, do a little bit of farming, have like a fucking not a dog. I don't want like a fucking lion as like a goddamn pet. I want like to protect me and my kids. Oh my kids, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting so stressed out. I'm like, you know what? I kind of just want to go back to a simpler life where maybe I grow food and shit and just hunt with my sons or some shit. Just I can't take it anymore myself. It's too much at this point. You get what I'm saying? The stress, like everything feels so stressful. You kind of want to go back to a simpler time.
I'll be real, man. Like, so, I mean, I got a bunch of kids, right? And like,
Yeah, they all look older than you.
The ones who are most like me have a very, very hard time in this system. And I don't know what to do about that, right? Like literally my 6-year-old just got suspended from school today.
He's 6. What do you do? Beat the shit out of another 6-year-old?
She
Oh,
she,
which
she she sat there and got pissed off at school because everybody else got a sticker in the classroom and decided to just wreck the joint.
it actually sounds like something similar I did back in kindergarten. I forgot I was pissed off about something, and I got in trouble, and everyone in class was like, "Yeah, you fucked up." I'm like, "Fuck all of you," because I think it was like I didn't get a sticker or some shit too.
Yeah, she literally sat here and just destroyed the whole place. Like started throwing tables and desks and like fucking just breaking everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, like literally they fucking gave her in school suspension. At 6.
I did instant suspension for the first time, I think, when I was like, what, 12? Yeah.
Yeah. I was in junior high. Like, and
Yeah.
that was a career move for me. I'll be real. Like, like I hold a record for numbers of days in fucking in school suspension in my fucking school district, right? To this day.
Wow. I'm
Like,
actually trying to picture your daughter now, like just a film version of you, but she's already smoking and shit, and she's in the kitchen working.
like yo, she's fucking bananas, right? You know what I mean? Like, she's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? She's wild as fuck. Like, she don't give a fuck in any way. You know what I mean? I remember when she was like little, like she's always been this way. You know, she's an outdoor kid. She likes to motherfucking be outside doing shit, being in the woods, running around. You know what I mean? She's fucking wild. She's just what it is. And I love her to death. Like, she's like, you know, she keeps asking, she's like, Daddy, I want to live with you. And I'm like, bro, listen, like, I work. What the fuck I'm gonna do with you? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, like I said, when oh yeah, well, I don't know if we can see on the stream. I actually finally talked to my grandma about my past shit, and she told me everything. I'm like, oh, so that's what it is. I wasn't going crazy as a kid. My mom really did hate me. It turns out I would have been aborted if it wasn't for my real dad.
Yo, my son's like that, bro. My oldest, fucking like literally, like his mom. Here's the crazy thing: my mom and his fucking his other grandmother, right? So his two grandmas wanted him to be aborted, and I fought against it, and that's the only reason he's here.
Yeah, no, well, my dad wanted me, but I found out that they were trying to have him have a job to where I live to where I live now. But he's pretty much just a lazy guy with like 20 different credit cards. I mean, he died a couple years ago, so he really wanted to raise me, but I think he just liked the idea of raising me. But it was actually my grandma that wanted to raise me, and I'll tell you right now, had my grandma raised me, let me tell you how awesome that'd be. If I needed to get a job, let's say at like 11 or 12 to help her out, I would have proudly done so. I would have been like, Grandma, I'm going to get a job and help you. You're the only one that gives a shit about me. Like, my stress would have been so much lower back then. And let me tell you, it's not just my mom I'm fucking done with. I'm done with my whole fucking family. They all knew. My grandma told me, oh, no, your family knew your mom was horrible to you. They just wanted to look the other way and not give a shit about you. I'm like, wow, I fucking knew it. You know, because as a kid, I thought it was crazy. I'm like, does my mom hate me? Like, Jesus, it's like she's always screaming her lungs out for everything I do. It's like, oh no, yeah. So yeah, she wanted to abort me. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. So
Yeah,
cool.
nah, like my mom wanted me. My dad didn't want me, right? But like my dad, like he, you know, fucking now, me and him thick as thieves and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
My thing is that if my mom didn't want me, it's like, hey, stupid bitch, you could have just had me live with your fucking mom, and like we all would have won. It's like, it's fine. It's like I understood that you didn't want me. Trust me, I hated you as a kid too. Like, you were a shitty mom. Like, she was not good. It's like, it's all retarded. It's like, you all could have just said something, and then I would have won. I could have taken care of my grandma. I mean, she's still alive, so I try to visit her at least once a week. I try my best. Because I guess she was the only one that gave a fuck. And actually, last week she was about to cry. I said, "Don't cry. It's not your fault. You tried." She was pissed off because she didn't know she could contact the government because she wanted to raise me, and that the rest of the family knew. It's like, yeah, you dumbasses could have contacted the government, and then I could have been with her, and then we all would have won. But nah, y'all still wanted to be friends with my retarded mom because it's just easier that way. Yeah, man, it was a huge revelation. I'm like, wow, I was not crazy. Okay, I was not crazy as a kid.
well, man, listen, it's been about an hour. I'm wanting to fucking like have some content to put up. I'm gonna cut some of this up, motherfucking, and like, yo, put out some fucking shit. But man, Florida, man, you know the deal, man. Love you, my brother.
That's it, man.
And I mean, I got to holler at this fucking female. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk to y'all motherfuckers later.
She's cheating on you.